Garrosh versus Rexar.
Alrighty, so we do see the warrior coming out here. Big game hunter, execute faceless manipulator, Harrison Jones. I mean, you did see that he has the eagle horn here. So do you mulligan that Harrison Jones here? Or are you thinking that's a pretty good draw? I mean, want to keep that in your hand?
Well, one of the big considerations with this Harrison Jones is that one of the reasons it's in here is for cards like Eagle Horn Bow.
Yeah.
So I've seen Eagle Horn Bow in the prior game. So my question is whether or not this Harrison is worth keeping. And since Eagle Horn Bow is one of the cards that's necessary to be able to apply a lot of pressure to me, I think it's worth keeping, even though it's a pretty risky keep, all things considered.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks like it's going to work out with the Eagle Horn Bow in hand. Obviously, it depends how he plays it out, and if he's going to be able to get rid of that. The Coin Taskmaster is a very nice draw here to be able to get rid of that Leper Gnome right off the bat. And I mean, you do have quite a bit of removal there. You have the Cleave, you have the Fiery War Axe. I mean, you're looking like you're in a pretty decent spot now. As Reynad, obviously there's a couple options here. You can go Loot Hoarder, you could just go Bluegill and trade, but it seems a little bit worthless. You could just go Bluegill face and try to force you to trade. And then there's obviously the good old Steady Shot. I mean, I think in this situation, really, Steady Shot or Loot Hoarder are both pretty fine.
Yeah, I like playing Loot Hoarder a lot here.
Yeah.
Because it starts digging him into his deck. With this Eagle Horn Bow in his hand, he's going to want to find ways to simply just pressure my life total. So I like it a lot because it not only challenges my 2/2, which is a pretty important minion in this matchup because it allows me to start pushing through for damage.
Yeah.
And since I know he's playing charge from the last game, it's important to think about how I actually kill him. It's also important because, again, this 2 damage starts adding up over the course of the game where he doesn't really have a lot of efficient ways to deal with something like a 2/2. It's sort of he has to overkill it or let it do its thing.
Now, I mean, Fiery War Axe, when you were looking at attacking Taskmaster into that, I was very confused, but, Fiery War Axe plus tagging face with the Taskmaster definitely makes sense there. With this turn 3, Eagle Horn Bow seems like the obvious draw. Now, I mean, having seen that come out, you can't use your Harrison just yet, and there's only one more charge of durability on that. There's not a lot of traps to increase the durability or anything, so, I mean, are you really thinking, should I have even kept the Harrison? Are you kind of happy about that? Or?
Well, naturally, when I see the Eagle Horn Bow hit the board, I'm very happy with Harrison being in my hand at this point.
But are you feeling like it's still going to be there when your Harrison's playable?
I don't see a reason for him to actually attack with Eagle Horn Bow, honestly. So at this point, attacking the Cruel Taskmaster does say a lot to me about his hand, though.
Yeah.
It says to me that he's able to play a long game.
Yeah.
Even though coming from this perspective, it doesn't look like he's able to play a long game. I think that's the message he's actually trying to send, is that he wants to slow down my potential aggression, so that way he's able to draw the cards he needs in order to start finishing the game.
Yeah, that makes sense. Another Taskmaster, so efficient there, taking out those small minions with it. And you are at a position now where he's looking at the flare. It's probably just going to be flare, bluegill, steady shot, I would imagine. But he could obviously go for the tracking instead. Does get the leper gnome, so the options start to diversify a little bit here. But still thinking it's probably going to be the bluegill plus a steady shot. And it's looking like it is. Could obviously still be tracking, but he is going to go with that, and he is going to be able to take down that Taskmaster. So, now, kind of the situation that I talked about, you do have the Harrison, but the bow is gone. Now, do you consider at all just playing the Harrison at this point, or you just get a kind of a minion out there, or are you just thinking, keep that in your hand in case he does get the other Eagle Horn, and in the same kind of thought process, looking forward, with a Black Knight against this deck, do you just kind of play the Black Knight when you get it, or do you think about, is there some possibility of a taunt?
Well, there is something to be said for playing Harrison there, but the fact that he's playing charge also says a lot about the fact that I need to be armoring up every turn.
Yeah.
So this Acolyte is a pretty poor play, I think, all things considered, but the armor up is sort of the important part of this play. I think it's possible he still has a second Eagle Horn Bow in his deck, at least from my perspective. Yeah. So Harrison isn't something I'm thrilled to play. And then the Black Knight's sort of in the same regard. Like now he's down an Animal Companion, but again, my thought process is I need to be armoring up every single turn. So while I definitely consider playing it, there's a lot of options I have at this point. And of course, when he makes Leok, not really much thought to it. Kor'kron Elite is a card that's in here literally to deal with this sort of situation.
Yeah, I mean, the free trade basically keeps it alive with the 4/1. You get the card draw from that before as well, so a very nice turn for them, for you there. And I mean, with this Animal Companion coming out, if he does play that, you're obviously hoping for that Misha. Having the Black Knight in hand would be pretty much ideal, and we'll see if that's going to be what comes out. looking like he does want to drop that. And will it be the Misha?
Oh,
It is.
geez.
That's so brutal,
Oh,
man.
geez.
That's so brutal. The Stone Tusk Boar seems like an obvious trade into the 4-1. I mean, pretty much have to make this play. And then you can obviously go with Steady Shot plus Leper Gnome. Pretty straightforward turn, and I think that is the right turn. But knowing what we know, it's so brutal, man. When Black Knight comes out, efficient Black Knight is just so rough. He's so far behind now.
It's especially rough against a deck that's designed to not be vulnerable to a card like Black Knight, and then it ends up being the case anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, he basically has nothing in his hand. He sees you have a full hand. I mean, what do you do here? You can charge a face. You can do charge Steady Shot. You can do Kill Command. Excuse me. There's a number of plays here, but none of them feel too good. I mean, I think he did really all he could in that situation, but at this point, you have shield block. The shield slam a really nice draw there. Going to be able to take down that. And going for the 4-corner lead, putting a lot of pressure on him now. With the Alexstrasza, just in case he bursts you low, you still have that in reserve. You obviously have, a lot of options here. You have a really great hand, and at this point, seeing how dry his hand is, he's going for the 100's mark on the face, man. That would be a great strategy. But are you feeling like I pretty much have this at this point?
Yeah, at this point, it's been a compounding effect for him as the game's gone on. I've gotten 2 great Cruel Taskmasters. He's out of cards at this point.
Yeah.
I have a lot of pressure on him. I have enough cards in my hand as well. At this stage of the game, if you're able to diffuse Charge Hunter as a warrior, which warriors are very good at doing, you're able to almost just close your eyes and pull cards from your hand and be able to win the game. And it shows here that the pressure that you're able to compound again from that it's just too much for Hunters to deal with because your passive naturally counters Hunters.
Yeah, I mean, with the Unleashed Hunter's Mark, and he can clear the board, but still, he knows it's over, and he's actually going to concede it. Calls the well played, so that's some good manner there from Reynad with that GG, but he knows it's over. He sees your hand. He has nothing left in his hand. Really nothing he can do in that situation.